Welcome to Come Get Woo Woo. We're your hosts, Becky and Ro, here to hold space for the unseen, the unspoken, and the deeply felt. This is a place for seekers, for those who sense that there's more, for those who hear between the words, feel beyond the room, and know without knowing why.
Together, we'll explore the language of spirit, the clarity of your clairs, and the signs that rise up when you're ready to notice. You're not imagining it, you're remembering it. This is Come Get Woo Woo.
Psychic abilities aren't some random lottery prize. They are the exact measurable component of your soul's design. If you think that you're not psychic, you're just not reading the right map. In this episode, we ditch the crystal ball cliches and show you the exact planets and houses in your astrology chart that point directly to your strongest clair, whether you're a clear feeler, a clear knower, or clear seer. Hey, woo-woo seekers, welcome back to another episode of Come Get Woo-woo with Becky and Ro. I'm Becky.
And I'm Ro. Today, we've decided to take you on a deep dive, much like the ones that started this all. Our journey through the clairs has laid the foundation. Now it's time to find your personal map. Your birth chart is the key. It doesn't just predict events, it describes how you are wired to receive your spiritual information. This episode will show you how to look at the elements, ruling planets, and the key houses in your chart to pinpoint which clair is your native language and which planetary placements are causing your intuitive blocks. We encourage you, woo-woo seekers, to pull up your birth chart or at least know your sun, moon, and rising signs for this episode.
We're starting with the most intuitive element of all, water. Think of water as an element of emotion, empathy, and the unseen. It rules the great spiritual ocean of collective feelings. Because water is all about feelings and connecting, even more importantly, we look at the psychic triad houses, which is the 4th, the 8th, and the 12th houses. If you have planets there, your psychic life operates on a watery emotional level. Your feelings aren't just feelings. They are highly accurate spiritual information. Next, in our deep dive of the psychic triad, let's explore the 4th house. The 4th house is traditionally Cancer, which is also a water sign, and it represents the empath. This is the house of emotional roots, ancestral memory, and home environment. It's naturally ruled by the watery, sensitive energy of Cancer, making it the seat of the inner empath within your chart. If you have planets here, your psychic gifts operate through 2 powerful water clairs. It's clairsentient, which is clear feeling. You sense energy through your body and your emotional core. And also clairalience, which is clear smelling. You pick up the energetic scent of places, people, and especially within your home.
So, Becky, don't you have your Neptune in the 4th house?
I do, actually. So this is considered a strong placement in this house. Even though the sign in the house is Sagittarius, it is traditionally ruled by Cancer. The 4th house is where you connect to your ancestors and familial spirits, which means your intuition is strongest when you are grounded to your personal space. So dreams, strong emotional sensations tied to family, or sudden shifts in the energy of your home are often clear, intuitive downloads meant to guide you. Look to your roots to understand your feelings. Now, we've talked about that before, that I'm a fantastic dreamer and very vividly. So I think this speaks highly of why I have that gift.
I agree.
All right. Want to tackle the next one, Ro?
Oh, absolutely. The next house we're going through is the intense 8th house. So This is the house of transformation, shared resources, and hidden energies. It's naturally ruled by the deep investigative energy of Scorpio, making it the seat of the psychic investigator within your chart. If you have planets here, your psychic gifts are driven by two highly penetrating clairs: claircognizance, clear knowing, so you gain penetrating insight into hidden truths, and clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. You see the energetic exchanges, whether they're sexual, emotional, or spiritual. The eighth house is where you confront death, rebirth, and profound change. Becky, you have the moon in the eighth house, right?
Yeah, I do. It's in Aries, actually.
So even though the moon is not a planet, it's a luminary, this is considered a strong placement, even though it is in the sign of Aries. So your moon placement in the eighth house is often considered a powerful, transformative, and deeply intuitive placement, which is why it's highly regarded by those interested in psychology, metaphysics, and psychic abilities. What this means is your intuition is strongest when you are focused on what's hidden beneath the surface. You instinctively read people's true motives, sense energetic chords of attachment, and simply know deep truths without any logical proof. For eighth house placement, psychic awakenings often occur immediately after major life transitions or deep emotional crisis.
I absolutely can relate to everything that you just said. My journey started off because of a very traumatic emotional crisis.
The chart doesn't lie, as they say, right?
Absolutely. Astrology never lies. So the final house, we have the mystical house, which is the 12th house. And this is the house of dreams, spirit realm, and the collective unconsciousness. It is naturally ruled by the boundless, sensitive energy of Pisces, embodying the role of the spiritual dreamer in your chart. If you have planets residing here, your psychic gifts are highly spiritual and work through two clairs. So you have clairvoyance, which is clear seeing, and clairaudience, which is clear hearing. You receive direct messages through channeling or divine inspiration. The 12th house is where you blur the lines between the old world and the next. So, Ro, you have your Venus in 12th in the sign of Libra, correct?
Yes, I do.
So did you know that this means that your intuition is active by anything subtle or gentle?
Figures.
Yeah. So dreams, deep meditation, and music, insights feel like they're divine inspiration that flow through you. You access the subtle planes, but because you are so open, you need solitude to recharge and distinguish your own energy from the collective energy you constantly absorb.
Oh, that's true. It's funny how they say subtle, they say subtle. I'm like, why does it have to be subtle? But I do need solitude as well.
Okay. Water houses are primary. There are two other houses that are important also in integrating and utilizing psychic information. Do you want to start us off with one of them?
Yeah. Let's look at a house crucial for delivering psychic information. And this is the third house. This is the house of communication, logic, and daily thought. It governs the way you process your thoughts and verbally expresses the information, making it the inner psychic communicator. If you have planets here, the focus is on two key clairs for transmission: clairaudience for clear hearing and claircognizance for clear knowing. What this means is your intuition is strengthened by learning, teaching, and frequent interactions. Well-placed planet here, especially Mercury, means your challenge isn't receiving the message, it's speaking the message clearly and quickly, before your logical mind can interfere.
Ro, isn't your moon in the third house? Even though it's in Sagittarius, that would fit.
Yes. Having my moon in the third house is a significant placement for psychic abilities because it blends an emotional moon with the realm of communication and intellect of the third house. This is a prime indicator for psychic ability known as claircognizance and strong mental intuition.
Very cool. So the last one that we have is actually the expansive ninth house. So if you know your chart, ninth house is absolutely across the board from the third house. This is the house of higher mind or higher learning. It's about wisdom and universal truth, philosophical belief systems, and deep abstract learning, making it the inner intuitive philosopher. If you have planets here, your psychic gifts operate in a grand conceptual scale, primary through claircognizance, which is clear knowing. What this means is your intuition is tied to the bigger picture. You are gifted at seeing how individual events fit into the grand design. A strong planet here, like Jupiter, indicates a higher level of intuitive who downloads philosophical wisdom. Your challenge is often grounding that universal knowing into practical, actionable steps to the here and now. Let's talk about the sense most people recognize first, though, which is clairsentient or clear feeling. This gift is ruled entirely by the water element, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
If you're clairsentient, your primary psychic action is empathizing and trusting your gut instincts. Your body is a psychic antenna. You feel energy instantly and intensely. That's very interesting. I have a lot of water placements, so I can absolutely say clairsentience is one of my strongest. So I would say that's pretty accurate for me.
Yeah, and I have a lot of water placements too.
Yeah.
A couple, not a lot, a couple. But it's high up there for me.
So if you're wondering how you know if your sentient is your strongest gift, we look for placements indicated in high emotional sensitivity, which is going to be your moon and fourth house placements. If you have your moon in the fourth house or heavily placed in a water sign like Cancer or Pisces, you are energetic sponge. Your personal world is so sensitive, you automatically soak up energies, emotions of the environment and the people nearby. So another one would be the deep merger between, we've got Venus and eighth house. If your moon or Venus is in your eighth house, you have a powerful capacity to sense and merge with emotional depths of others. So this is an intense, powerful empathy that gives you a deep psychological understanding. So the next one is your moon and your Neptune. So the strongest clue is the tight aspects between the moon and Neptune. Any conjunct, square, or trine, Neptune heightens sensitivity and makes it difficult to distinguish your personal feelings from the collective. This is a challenging but powerful placement, is signature of a true, highly tuned empath. So if this sounds like you, your primary work is not turning your sensitivity off, but learning how to manage it and trust those powerful flowing and gut feelings. So next, let's turn your attention to clairaudience or clear hearing. This gift is ruled by the air elements. So you got Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Because it governs the mind, communication, and intellectual processing. Actually, Ro, I think this is why Amy is such a great channeler, because she is an Aquarius.
Oh.
That would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is we look at the placements that show a strong, sensitive channel between your mind and the spiritual realm. So the planet Mercury and the third house are the keys here. So you have water signs. If you find Mercury in a water sign, like Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or even in the third house in a water sign. So or if your third house is in a water sign, your natural communication channel is filtered through intuition. You are better equipped to receive subtle verbal input, often disguised as your own inner voice. So just a note, my third house is ruled by Scorpio. So that would be an indicator of why I can hear songs, and my clairaudience is pretty strong. And I have Mercury, Cancer.
Oh, double.
So double, yes. Okay, so then you have Mercury in the 12th house. A standout placement of Mercury in the 12th house. This gives you a highly perceptive mind that absorbs knowledge subtly. Your inner voice is often clear, a conduit for information straight from your spirit guides. So now we're going to go into if you have Mercury or Jupiter strongly placed in the 9th house, your mind is geared toward higher universal truth. You learn philosophical truths and abstract concepts that manifest as an undeniable knowing voice. Interesting.
Yeah.
The most powerful sign is a tight Mercury-Neptune conjunct or trine. This linkage means that your thought process is constantly merged with spiritual, universal energy, translating non-physical information into perfectly recognizable thoughts or voices. Isn't your Mercury and your Neptune closely together? They're conjunct and...
Oh, I don't know. I would have to look that up. They might be.
I'm pretty sure it is. I love astrology, so I remember stuff like that.
But I don't know if I could have perfectly recognizable thoughts or voices that come to me.
Okay, so if this is your gift, your challenge could be discerning the source of the voice. So our action tip for you is simply try automatic writing. Just let your pen flow whatever Mercury hears without engaging in your judgment.
Now I have homework. I have to look up my Mercury, Neptune, and if so, then I have to start automatic writing.
I think everybody after this episode is going to have homework. They're going to be looking at their charts going, okay, what is this again? My advice is find a very good astrologer to just read your chart and maybe just give you a little, or take an astrology class. Either way.
Yeah. Yeah. Or, just even getting to know your chart is fun as well.
I think that's a very important, because there's a lot of information that you can gain from knowing your chart.
And we had a lot of fun going down rabbit holes with our charts.
That we have. We still have them. What are you talking about? They're not done. We are always investigating something else.
That is so true. And here we are on a Friday night.
I know.
Recording and talking about astrology. It's so much fun.
Once again. I love it. I love it.
So let's move on to arguably the most powerful and immediate claircognizance or clair-knowing. This gift is ruled by the fire element, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. If you're claircognizant, your primary action is sudden conviction, innate truth, and pure inspiration. You don't see it, you don't hear it, you just know it with absolute certainty. Fire signs are driven by this belief and pure vision. That sounds like an Aries for sure,
Oh, I agree. Aries are bold and just take charge. They're going to be leading the pack. So 100%.
So funny. We look for planets that govern inspiration and higher knowledge, especially Mercury and Jupiter. The innate truth teller. If your Sun or Mercury lands in the ninth house, your core self or thought process is naturally linked to profound universal knowledge and truth. You have the innate sense of what is fundamentally correct. And then we have the revolutionary flash. So when Uranus, the planet of sudden truth, is in the 11th house, you get unexpected electric flashes of insight. This knowledge is often revolutionary, sudden, and ahead of its time, as you tap into the collective consciousness for future-focused information. And then we have the genius link. So here we're looking for a strong aspect between Mercury and Uranus or Jupiter. This creates a brilliant and unconventional mind that bypasses normal logical processes. The result is instantaneous, undeniable knowledge. Then we have the cosmic aha. This is a tight Mercury-Uranus conjunction, trine, or even a square signals electric light downloads of information. This is a aha moment on a cosmic scale, a sudden realization that changes everything. So if claircognizance is your strongest gift, your challenge is not receiving the truth, it's acting on it. Your action tip is simple. Honor the download. Try to act on that profound inner known within 24 hours before your logical mind has a chance to dilute the pure message.
That is so cool, because the biggest problem I have is I don't act on it and then I forget about it.
And I would be the person that dilutes it.
Yep. So yeah. So the final primary sense that we cover is clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. This gift is often associated with the earth elements. So we've got Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. If you're clairvoyant, you receive information through mental pictures, inner visions, and prophetic dreams. While seeing seems like a physical act, earth signs ground the spiritual sight, making the visions tangible and reliable enough to act on. So if you spot this gift, you look for planets that dissolve boundaries, heighten vision, and particularly Neptune, Pluto, and the 12th house. So you have the visionary medium. This is the strongest indicator for visual spiritual sight. When Neptune, the planet of dreams and the unseen, is in the 12th house, the veil between the worlds is thin. You are naturally prone to vivid prophetic dreams and clear visions from spirit. You have the psychic identity. Having your sun or your moon in the 12th house means your core identity or emotional self is constantly attuned to the non-physical realm, processing spiritual information visually from the unconscious. So then you also have the X-ray sight, which is when Pluto is in the 8th house. You are gifted with the penetrating X-ray vision. You can see beyond the surface, often leading to a sight of auras, energetic patterns, or prophetic visions related to deep transformation. The spiritual mind is the last one we have here, and that is a strong Mercury-Neptune trine or sextile. Shows your mind is directly connected to the spiritual channel. This fusion enables you to easily visualize spiritual concepts or prophetic imagery. If clairvoyance is strong for you, your actionable tip is to lean into your artistic side. Focus on dream journaling and artistic visualization to channel and clarify the powerful visions you receive.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that auras show up on the chart as well.
I didn't either. That was actually new to me. when we were doing this research. Okay, Ro, do you want to go over the rest?
Sure. Clairgustance or clairtasting, an ability to receive non-physical taste that isn't actually in your mouth. The unique clair blends the physical sense of the earth element with the deep emotional memory of the water element. Your tongue becomes the direct receiver for energetic information. We look to the parts of your chart that govern your physical body and your value system. The second house, which rules the mouth, the throat, and the sensory input, is key. The spiritual palette. This is the main signature when Neptune, the planet of spirit, or water planet like the moon or Venus, lands in the second house. It creates a direct fusion of the spiritual realm with your physical taste receptors. This is a primary indicator of this gift. Then we have the sensual receiver. If this second house is ruled by Taurus, which governs sensuality and taste, and a psychic planet activates it, your physical palate is highly sensitive to the energetic shifts. The spiritual taste. Now, if the sense of taste is channeled through the 8th house, which is death and spirit contact, you might experience tasting something strongly associated with a deceased person, like a grandmother's favorite candy or the taste of their signature tobacco.
Weren't you just telling me about you having this in one of your classes the other day?
Oh, yes. We had to go in using taste. That had to be the first clair you used. So I got a cigar.
That's very cool.
Yeah. If you suspect you have this subtle gift, here's your action tip. Use taste that intentionally trigger memory or spiritual connection during meditation. Then note if you receive any non-physical taste alongside your spiritual downloads. Becky, do you want to do clairalience?
I will. So the next is clairalience, which is clear smelling. This is the ability to receive non-physical sense, smelling an odor that has no physical source. So just like tasting, the gift blends physical body, which is earth, and emotional memory, which is water. Your nose acts as a unique portal for energetic information. So you're going to look for placements that blur the line between body and spirit. The second house is key, as is the first. So the first one is going to be spiritual body. So when Neptune or your moon influences the first house, your entire body becomes a spiritual antenna. Your physical senses, including your smell, naturally perceive non-physical information. The sensory blur is another one, which this placement causes the blurring of your physical senses with spiritual, Neptune in the second. This placement causes the blurring of the physical senses with the spiritual, otherworldly information. You may have a overactive physical sense of smell, but this often means you are physically smelling lingering energies. Interesting. The last one is the direct link. You're going to look for this direct link between your physical senses, which is ruled by Taurus or the second house or the 12th house of spirit. The link allows spirits, ancestors, or guides to use familiar sense as a key form of communication, like smelling your grandfather's cologne when he's around. If this resonates with you, you can develop it intentionally. Our action tip is to use aromas like essential oils to intentionally trigger memory or spiritual connection during meditation. Pay close attention to any sudden or unexpected smells that pop up. That's your clairalience activating. So here's an interesting thing. You remember I was telling you just the other night, I was talking to a friend and we were talking and we were just on the flow. And she was actually talking about how, and it's interesting, she is actually a Taurus. She can smell when it's going to rain. So
Oh,
yeah.
I could do that too, though.
So can you?
Yeah.
So
Or yeah, there's something different in the air, like
yeah.
when it's
And
going to rain or snow.
yes. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So you have that ability too. So we're going to have to look at your chart again and see how that is indicated with your first and second house, which makes sense because isn't your Neptune in the second house?
I know my Scorpio's in the second house.
Right. But I think your Neptune's in the second house of Scorpio. So that would make sense why
Mm-hmm.
you can do that, where you can have that smell. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So now this isn't actually the six clairs, but it's something that I think is important to cover. Do you want to cover the last one, intuition?
I'd love to. So, intuition is the one ability that ties all of the clairs together. Intuition isn't tied to just one element, it's the overreaching ability to receive all spiritual information. It's a universal gift, but its unique flavor is determined by the dominant elements in your chart. To see if you operate primarily from the subconscious master sense level, we look at indicators that soften the boundaries between the physical world and the spiritual. So the first one we have is the psychic foundation. So most of the universal indicators is a stellium, which is 3 or more planets in the 4th, 8th, or 12th houses. This creates a fundamentally sensitive and receptive nature that operates primarily from the subconscious. Your feelings and perceptions run deep, making the spiritual realm your natural home base.
So,
And then you have the porous boundary. So if your sun or moon is in the 12th house, your ego or emotional self has a porous boundary with the collective unconscious. You are highly intuitive, often without understanding where the information comes from. It just is. Then we have the deep perception. So when Pluto sits in the 8th house, you gain a powerful, penetrating perception that is attuned to all things hidden. Your feel for underlining in power dynamics and energetic truths is rarely wrong. And lastly, the ultimate attunement. So any strong connection of Neptune to your personal planets, like a conjunction to your sun, moon, or ascendant, means the planet or spiritual awareness saturates your personal identity. This blurs the line between physical reality and the spiritual truth, making you intuitively attuned to everything. If your chart has several of these indicators, congratulations. You don't just have a gift. You have a powerful intuitive style. The master sense is always on, guiding you through the constant ebb and flow of energetic truth. And then I have two additional planets here. So if Jupiter is in your 7th, near the 8th cusps, it expands intuitive connection through one-on-one energy, relationship, and acts as a mirror for intuitive downloads. The next one is Neptune in the 5th house, which connects creative expression and spiritual sight you see through art, story, or play.
you know, I have to say this has been very interesting, and I will absolutely look at my chart a lot differently.
Yes, me too.
So I know that we always try to do a lot of the lesser known clairs. So I have a few if you want to hear them.
Of course.
Okay, so we have clairtangency, which, and I'll just briefly touch on it. Clairtangency is touch and psychometry. We've gone over it before when we were doing all the clairs. The signs that it's associated with is Taurus and Capricorn, and the planet that is Saturn and Venus. So Strong placements can indicate some clairtendencies. Then you have clairkinesthesia, which is movement. And this is actually ruled by the signs of Aries and Sagittarius. And the planet associated is Mars. So this is going to be feeling spirit's message through body movement, like dance or pacing. And then we have clairsomatic, which is ruled by earth and water blend, actually. It's tied to Virgo energy, or the 6th house, and Pisces energy, or the 12th house. And this is the physical sensation mirroring intuitive truth. So often shows up with the moon and Neptune in the aspects to the rising or ascendant or the 6th house. Do you have any, Ro?
I do. I have Claire intellect, which is known for the higher mental knowing. So if you have an air fire mix in the 9th or 11th house, so this is the universal intelligence. If you have aspects Mercury to Uranus or Jupiter. Then we have clairambient environmental awareness. So this is an air-water crossover between the 11th and 12th houses. So this is specifically linked to Aquarius or Pisces energy, and it often correlates with Uranus to Neptune aspects. And then we have clair projection, which is fire and air elements in the 1st, 9th, or 11th houses. This is tied to Aries or Sagittarius energy with the strong Mars or Jupiter.
That's very interesting. I don't know if I've done a lot of investigation on just those lesser ones, but like I said, definitely have to take a look at my chart a little closer to see how they correlate.
It's all very interesting and fascinating. Do you have any books that you would recommend on this?
I started when I went on my deep divings. I actually, it's the complete. No, it's called The Only Book You'll Ever Need to Know About Astrology, I think is what it's called.
I think I have that same book.
But I just got a new book actually today, Spiritual Astrology. So I'm kind of excited to start that one. That'll be fun.
Well, you'll have to let me know what you think of it because I'll get the same book.
I have so many books, so I probably didn't need another one, but I do. I love reading. So,
do you want to start us off on some of the blocks?
Yeah, we've uncovered all of your gifts and where to see them, but every powerful intuitive faces challenges. So the final step of recognizing your blocks. In your chart, 3 major planetary energies can interfere with intuitive flow. So the first one we have is actually the planet of Saturn, which this is going to create fear and restriction. So this comes from the planet because it is about structure and restriction. If Saturn is in the 12th house, which is your spiritual house, or if Saturn is in a challenging square or opposition to Neptune, it creates deep psychic fear and need to be hyper logical, effectively chopping off your intuitive flow. You might fear your gifts or try to discipline them out of existence. So a way to kind of work around some of that is actually Saturn rewards discipline. The solution is to create a strict, non-negotiable daily intuitive practice. Don't wait for inspiration. Schedule your intuition. Say you will sit in silence every day for 5 minutes at 7 a.m. By structuring the intuitive space, you overcome Saturn's block. So I have actually tried doing it this way is every single night. And I usually go to bed at a certain time. And so I have a strict regulation of I write in my journal either, I have 2 times that I do it. I either write in my journal before I go to bed or before I leave the house. to make sure that I am writing down either my intention or my thanks. One of those things. Do you have a practice, Ro, that you generally try to do or not really?
Sure. Every night before I go to bed, I scroll TikTok.
That works too. I do that too.
It's my downtime.
So maybe you can, for those that want to do some try to get rid of blocks, that would be something that you can try to do with the Saturn aspect of it. So the next is going to be the block of doubt and confusion, which is generally this challenge comes from Neptune, the planet of dreams and illusion. So if Neptune is in a challenging square or opposition with Mercury or your moon, it doesn't block intuition. It makes it murky. So if you get information, it's hard to tell if it's true insight, wishful thinking, or just paranoia. The lines are blurred. So one of the ways that you can work around this is get yourself grounded. After the download, check the facts. Does this information serve my practical reality? If the message truly is spiritual, will it stand up to logic? That's an interesting block.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
It's a very interesting workaround, I guess, is what I was trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never thought to do that, but I doubt, because we've talked about it a million times of how we both doubt ourselves all the time. So I might have to try that. The deeper that we go into these episodes, the more I'm just like,
Yeah.
Like, I gotta try that. I gotta try that. How come I'm not doing that? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's just funny. The more we just talk about things or, researching as well. And then, to sit here and speak it out loud as well. So it's sticking more, I guess you could say.
I agree with you.
So should I go over the final block?
I'd love to hear the final block.
This one's right up my alley. So the final block is pure mental chatter caused by challenging aspects from Mercury to Mars or Pluto. So here your mind is always racing, aggressive, obsessively focused on analysts. It's impossible to hear the subtle, the soft voice of intuition over the noise of your own thoughts. The workaround, you must introduce a body-based practice to bypass the mental chatter. Do things like yoga, tai chi, qigong, or focused deep breathing meditation shifts your consciousness away from Mercury's constant analysis. Do this before you attempt any psychic download. It's funny because me and my friends started to do qigong like a year ago. And it's like kind of interesting, qigong.
I've never tried that, though. I did start doing yoga.
Yes, but can't yoga also act as like a meditation?
Oh, I think you're right. I think it does, because the breathing helps everything move more smoothly.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I don't like yoga.
Oh, you're not?
No, I don't. I like qigong because the poses aren't difficult. It's like moving energy through your body. I think you would like it.
I'm gonna have to check it out because I don't think I've ever even watched a video on it. So yeah, definitely.
It's very soft moving from the few that I've done.
Okay, so here's a woo-woo tip just from an astrology viewpoint. When your transits become blocked, look at which element is actually missing. Balance with the opposite. So if you've got too much air, you're going to practice discernment and fire visualization. If you have too much earth, you need to meditate and water cleanse. If you have too much water, you're going to use earth rituals or sensory awareness. Too much fire, just breathe, slow down, listen to the inward voices, and balance with that. So, Ro, I know that you have an opposition between Mercury and Chiron, which is a little bit going in the deeper dive. You want to let the audience know what that means?
Yes. Well, this is my true hard aspect. Makes you second guess your voice, your intelligence, or whether people get you. So early in life, this often feels like being misunderstood or dismissed. Later becomes your healing superpower. You help others find their voice because you fought to reclaim your own.
I think that's pretty appropriate that we're out here doing this podcast, and that is helping other people find their voice. So this just makes sense.
I love that.
Okay, so while the sun sign shows your general psychic style, the moon sign is often more important for the clairs. The moon rules the emotions, the subconscious, and the memory, making it an actual control center for your intuition. So your moon sign shows how you receive and process subtle intuitive impressions. This is the subtle engine running your psychic life. So if your moon is in a water sign, your emotions are going to be your primary receiver. You lean heavily into clairsentient. So, for example, if you have a Scorpio moon, you're naturally going to feel the deepest, most hidden energetic truths. If your moon is in an air sign, your mind is the most active filter. You're going to lean towards clairaudient. If you have a Gemini moon, for instance, naturally processes messages through hearing and dialect. We know two people that actually have Gemini moons, and they hear a lot of things. Their guides are always talking. Both Nancy and Chris are like that.
Yes, makes sense. Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So if your moon is in an earth sign, you need intuitive stability. So you're going to lean towards clairvoyance. So if your moon is in a fire sign like mine, which is an Aries,
like mine.
Is yours? Yes, yours is Sagittarius. Yes. So we both have moon signs that are in fire.
Yeah.
And we need immediate, truthful convictions. We both lean towards claircognizance. So understanding your moon sign helps you trust the delivery method of your intuitive impressions, making them feel less random and more reliable. So I know that we've researched our rising signs also. Do you want to tackle that one?
Sure. Your rising sign shows how your gifts look to the outside world. It's the filter your psychic energy uses when you step out the door. So, for instance, if you're a fire sign, you express your gifts with confidence and directness. Your insights, especially claircognizance, will often be delivered as bold, inspiring truth that people instinctively want to follow. If you are an earth rising, you present your psychic insights in a practical, grounded way. Your clairvoyance will be very clear and detailed, and your advice will always be focused on tangible, realistic action steps. If you have an air rising sign, you express your gifts through communication and intellect. Your clairaudience will make you appear articulate and quick-witted, easily translating subtle messages into clear, logical language for others. If you have water rising signs, you express your energy as deeply empathetic and receptive. Your clairsentience and clairvoyance will be delivered with compassion and depth, often making you look like a natural mystic or healer to those around you. Understanding this helps you own your own unique packaging of your gifts. You don't have to change your style. You just need to trust the lens your rising sign provides.
To summarize your intuitive journey, identify the dominant clair via the elements, understanding the core strengths, through your key planetary placements. And finally, work with your Saturn and Neptune blocks by applying discipline, structure, and practical grounding. Trusting your chart, trusting your gifts, and trust the process. Your birth chart is the ultimate guidebook. Take what you learn today, look at your unique chart, and start practicing with intention. Trust the blueprint you were given. Yep.
As we wrap up today's episode on astrology and the class, remember that your birth chart is more than just your sun, moon, and rising. It's your intuitive roadmap. Every planet adds its own voice. Mercury may guide you how to hear messages, Neptune how to sense energy, and the moon how you feel emotion and connection. Your chart isn't just a cosmic theory. It's personal. It's the rhythm of your intuition written in the stars. The more you understand your planetary influences, the more confidently you'll recognize which class speaks the loudest for you. I love this episode.
I've learned so much from this episode. Even though I deep dive all the time, I still learned.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else?
I think that's it for this episode, but I'd love to tell you about what we're going to be doing next week. For our next episode, we're back to exploring the words. 6 that we've already given you and the 3 more that I'll give you today. From the Woo Woo Seekers Journal, A Journey for Your Signs and Symbols, Book 1. All meditations are available to you on our YouTube channel at Woo Woo Seekers. Next week, we'll share our experiences and understandings of these words. And if you feel called to share your experience, email us at comegetwoowoo@gmail.com. And the 3 words this week are going to be desire, city, and broom. See what rises. See what resonates. And don't forget to visit our website, comegetwoowoo.com, for links to all of these words and our newsletter and so much more. Thank you.
Thanks for getting woo-woo with us today. If something sparked a memory, a message, or just made you smile, share it with a fellow seeker, because the journey is always better when you can grow together. Be sure to find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Woo Woo Seekers, so you can like, follow, and subscribe.
You can also follow us by visiting our website, comegetwoowoo.com. We are so much more than just another podcast. We're building a community of seekers just like us. We love hearing from you. If you've got signs, symbols, or stories that you want to share, email us at woowooseekers@gmail.com. Or any questions about today's episode, you can email us at comegetwoowoo@gmail.com.
Until next time, stay curious, stay open, and as always, come get woo-woo with us.